admire most about John is he wakes up every single day and wants to make this community and this world a better place every single day of his life, and that's what I admire the most.
In my mind, leadership is the ability to step out and say something or do something when others are unwilling to do so, especially when I think there's a sentiment behind it that it's the right thing to do. And in this case, I've happily stepped out in front and will continue to do so until we achieve every goal that we've set before us.
Inclusion is such an obvious value to me. We're all human beings, and we all deserve 100% of each other's respect. That goes for race, religion, sexual orientation, sexual identity, politics, anything. I just believe we're all human beings and we all need to respect each other. And it's places like One Community that enable this to a greater degree, a degree that I fully believe in.
Inclusion matters to me, but I think it matters to everybody in this state. I could say it purely from a business standpoint that I think it's important for business, but more importantly, it's just the right thing to do. And I think it's an easy thing to do. So, why we can't move the ball forward further than it already has been it's important to me to figure out how to get that done.
I admire how committed he is to working to solve problems that he sees out in the world.
Inclusion is absolutely essential, I think, into making Arizona a livable place and a welcoming place. And so as a business leader, being able to put yourself on the line and say that this is something that we must value, that goes a long way, I think.
It's important that Arizona be welcoming, not just that that's the brand. And you think about all the young people, who are not even 18 yet, and just think about all the things that all those people will do with the rest of their lives, and hopefully so many of them will stay here. So I think it's just incredibly important that we make this city and state a place where no matter who those kids are or who they will be, they feel like this is home and they can do whatever great things they're going to go on to do here.
The lesson that he taught me from very, very young is that it's better to be kind than it is to be right. That was something that his dad was big on, and he's always been big on that with all three of his kids. I think it all boils down just to dignity of the human person. Everyone should be welcomed for who they are. We should meet them where they are. No one should have the fear of being fired based on who they love or any other factor that is out of their control.
It was the Jesuit mission that brought John Graham and Adria Renke together 21 years ago. John lives what we call the magis, the more. And it doesn't mean, John, listen to me, get on more boards. It does not. It means that you go granular, and you go deeper, and you become more reflective, and you figure out through discernment what is the right thing to do. And he does it all over the state of Arizona. He's remarkable. He's honest, he's fair, he's a great thinker, and he steps out of the box when he has to. Cura personalis and cura apostolica. Care for the person, care for the apostolate. What can I say? You're all sitting there knowing he cares about everybody he meets, and he takes care of those that need that care. But he is also an apostle of the greater good. He's always thinking about what is the best thing for the greater good of the city, the state, the city council, his family, Brophy. John is a strong supporter of equal rights because he doesn't know any differently. He knows in his heart that we're all children of God and that he created each of us. So we start there. That's where we start. Who are we to have an opinion about God's creation? And that's just in every fiber of his being. He doesn't have to work at that. That's who John Graham is.
I think equality and just treating people fairly and decently and with respect is who John is. It's a part of his core. It's what he's all about. Probably from the way he was raised to his upbringing, certainly with his faith. It's the way he's run his company and his businesses over many, many years. It's just who he is. And when something is that ingrained in someone, you really don't have to, be persuasive. You don't have to be an advocate, because they understand the issue. John's a very educated guy. He knows that sexual orientation is not a choice. He knows that people are just who they are, and he respects that. And that enables him to open his arms and welcome the opportunity to be a tremendous ally on behalf of the LGBTQ community.
There were so many people who were outraged by 1062, and we needed a loud, clear voice who was saying reasonable and rational things, and that was John Graham. He wrote an op-ed for the Arizona Republic some time back that I keep and read. He lays out his arguments very clearly, he makes the case, and he proves the point that we are all privileged to be here, and we need to treat each other as we would want to be treated. He lives the golden rule, he believes in the golden rule, and I think ultimately that will move us forward.
So I was chair of Greater Phoenix Leadership when 1062 hit the streets, and as most people know, that was really a follow-up piece, although a different agenda than Senate Bill 1070. I think we all saw what a terrible piece of legislation can do, not only to be destructive to a state from the standpoint of business, but from an image standpoint. So it was really easy to know that when 1062 was on the table, that we should rally as businesses and the general population to encourage our governor to veto that bill.
Anytime a high-profile leader, and certainly one who's engaged with Republican Party politics and Republican politicians, is willing to speak out and take on the opportunity to stand with the LGBT community, it's very valuable. It gives other like-thinking Republicans, perhaps who need a little bit of push on the courage standpoint, that opportunity that they need. And so it's very valuable to have John as a voice, as a senior Republican engaged person in this valley and in our state. It's extremely important that he is visible and willing to speak out on these issues. It brings other people along, and that is just priceless.
As a Republican, I think what John has done and going public with this stance is a huge help in bringing us together, Republicans, Democrats, and Independents, working together to build a better society, to build a culture where we treat each other as we want to be treated.
Yeah, inclusion for me is just the right thing to do as a human being. But in addition to that, and I would feel this way, I'm certain, even if it wasn't the case, but I have members of my family that are gay, and I've seen that it's a more difficult life for them, which it shouldn't be. And so for that reason, that's definitely fueled my personal passion, in addition to the fact that it's just the right thing to do. This award for me is not about me. I think they never are. It's about either a cause, an issue, something much bigger than me. And so in this case, the reason that I was happy to receive it and happily accepted it is that it gave me a chance and a platform to talk to others about how I feel about this issue and hopefully give them the comfort to be more supportive in this area. I would very much like to implore people in the crowd and others that you know to join me in encouraging our governor, who everybody knows is a friend and somebody I really have a lot of respect for, in signing an executive order to move this ball forward.
I join with John in calling for a fully inclusive statewide non-discrimination law, and I look forward to working with him to make it a reality here in Arizona.